Thank you. Megan, that's you on the stage. When you give me a video, let me know and I'll turn it on. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. So thank you so much to Paul for having me here. And David, that was amazing. It was very insightful, especially to someone who's just starting out in the business. So I'm just going to say a bit about me to begin with. So I'm Megan Jones, and I'm talking about building a brand with out-of-the-box thinking. So a bit about my journey. So I'm 25 now. I started my whole brand in April 2019. I was at university. I went to London College of Fashion, and I just didn't really want to be there. And I actually went to get my lashes done, and she was earning like £40 an hour. And at the time, I was like, sick, that's unreal. And I wanted a bit of money on the side, so I was like, what can I do to get money that's going to enable me to live the life that I want to live and not just be restricted to my student loan. So I did a lash course, spent my student loan on it, and I started doing lashes. And then I ended up moving to Newcastle. Sorry, I don't know why I'm shaking so much. Then, like every other entrepreneur, I feel like in this room, I was trying to make something work. So I got my lash business up and running. I was doing courses. I was learning all the time, doing more courses. I was a massive course junkie as well. And then I ended up doing an aesthetics course, which enabled me to essentially scale my business to 6 figures. And within that time of doing my aesthetics, it was COVID. So I was trying a lot of product selling things. So I got my own lashes and I branded them. I started a boutique in COVID as well because I couldn't work and I was so bored and I was like, what can I do? So I started a boutique, and a TikTok actually went viral, and I ended up selling 200 jackets overnight. And at the time I was like, oh my God, I'm a baller. I was like, that's sick. How have I sold that many overnight from one viral video? And then after that, it was COVID. I ended up finishing a relationship. So I moved to Manchester because that's my hometown, really. So I started everything from scratch. So I already built up my lash business to loads of clients, recurring clients, was busy, fully booked. But I just thought, you know what, Newcastle, sorry if anyone's from Newcastle, but I was like, I don't feel like there's much potential there to grow to be in the size of business that I want to be. A lot of things that I would see online, within the industry and places that I wanted to go, rely on influencers and networking. I feel like Newcastle's quite a small city, so it didn't really enable that. So moved to Manchester and I had to start from scratch. So I started off with my lashes because obviously aesthetics is quite hard to gain trust from new people when you don't know people. Started my aesthetics, moved to Manchester, started my lashes, gained some clientele there, was trying to do my aesthetics, and I was literally like, oh my God, it's not working. And I actually applied to go on The Apprentice, and at the time, I was doing dropshipping, I was trying to sell online courses, I had my boutique, I was doing lashes, I was doing aesthetics. I was trying to make too much work, I was spreading myself too thin. So then I was like, I got an audition for The Apprentice, I went to, and the train ended up getting cancelled, and I was like, you know what, what would I actually say? If I do something, I want to do it to win, and I want to be the best that I can be. So I was like, I'm not going to go because I don't know where I would take it, and what I would even say, anything like that. So I was literally just like, right, let's sort my life out. What do I need to do? Pick one thing to focus on and make that work. So I got a business coach, and I decided, right, I'm going to go fully with my aesthetics because at the end of the day, that's the best return on investment. It's obviously trading time for money, but at the end of the day, it's a high. It's higher revenue than a lot of the other things I was doing, and it was quicker for me to do because I already had the skills, I knew how to gain clients, I just had to do the work basically, you can't avoid doing the work. So I did that, and then within 6 months, this girl actually ended up doing a TikTok for me as well, one of my clients, and it went viral again. And that one TikTok probably made me about 40k in revenue from that one TikTok, and that was just off sales of people coming in to get the nose done by me, which is a £230 treatment. So you can imagine how many people came in to me to get that done, just from that one TikTok, which was crazy. And then I ended up going, so please have a drink.
Well, still working.
I felt my mouth very well.
Yeah.
Keep on stage with it.
That's a good idea. So I went to a conference and Pia Louise was there, and she's like a leading person in the beauty industry, and I really look up to her like since when I was young. And this year she's actually on track to do like 150 million turnover, which is absolutely insane. And she's all like bootstrapped, she doesn't have any investors or anything like that. Went to a conference and she was like, you need to get on TikTok. And I was thinking, right, how do I get on TikTok? Like, I'm a service-based business, obviously she did products. I was like, how do I get on TikTok? Like, what do I do? Anyway, that December, I was on holiday, I was scrolling on my TikTok, and this girl came up, and I was thinking, I swear she's my client. And I looked on her page, and she had like 60,000 followers, and she was actually running a 10 accounts TikTok. And I thought, oh, like she's a uni student. I was like, you know what, she could probably run my account. So I messaged her, I was like, hey, like, join on my TikTok, I'll give you £10 a post. And she did that for the next 6 months. Within that 6 months, she grew to 100k followers. And I was actually getting my nails done. I was listening to a Grant Cardone podcast, like he did like a live stream thing. I was actually locked in, like no one speaks to me, headphones on, making notes. And I was like, he said something, and he was like, you need to like use people around you to make money. And he was like, use influential people to make money. Like, who can you use to make money, basically? And obviously, I've tested so much in the past, like selling products, selling online courses. Like, I've always wanted to be in that space where I'm not trading my time for money. And e-commerce is obviously the way to go, especially like in this generation, just forever really, because it gives you time freedom and you can scale it to the moon. Like, there's no cap on it because you're not trading your time. So anyway, she grew to 100k, and I noticed on her page that so many people was like asking about her lashes, like, how are your lashes so long? Like, oh my god, your lashes, your lashes, your lashes. And she was gaining a lot of popularity. So I just thought, you know what? Like, I listened to that podcast, walked home, and I thought, oh my god, I was like, let's start a lash layering brand with her. Let's start a lash layering brand. She can be the face of it, I'll do all the work. So I called her straight away, and I was like, Heather, I was like, let's do a lash layering brand, you can be the face of it. And honestly, the rest was history. It was absolutely, it's been crazy since we started. And since then, she's grown from 100,000 followers to 1 million followers in the space of like a year and a half. And our business has obviously grown off the back of that. And it's been a mixture of her popularity on social with being a likable person, and also all of the big marketing things that I put behind her. So like putting on these big campaigns and thinking outside of the box. So it's kind of grown alongside each other. So I hit 7 figures in December 2024, which was a year after starting the company. And then 2025, on a mission to take over the beauty space. So a bit about my company. So it's called By Babes. It was called By Boss Babes, but Hugo Boss wasn't very happy about that, so I had to change it. I've had a mental breakdown about it as well. But here we are, I prefer it anyway, so everything happens for a reason. So we launched in December 2023. We've done almost 4 million in sales in less than 2 years. We had one product until July this year, at the end of July. Since then, we've added another like 15 SKUs. We built a really, really strong community of girls who literally will like preach about our brand. They'll talk about us, like they do the work for us. They shout about us like every single day. We've got so many people tagging us in posts, tagging us in TikTok videos, like raving about our brand without us having to do anything. We've got really, really strong brand values, which we like to convey through our marketing. We've done over 100,000 orders from that one SKU. So our target audience is females aged from around 16 to 25, and our brand values are empowering, playful, confident, and results driven. So these are the core things that whenever we do a campaign or wherever we're doing content, we really try and like embed these things into everything that we do, just to help with that strong brand image. So what is branding and why does it matter? So obviously marketing and branding, they're very similar, but they are very different. So marketing is more like instant results. It gives you visibility and it like is the first transaction really. But branding is such a long-term thing, and it's so, so important to kind of be the big people in the space. It creates a community, it builds that trust, so it really, really helps with customer retention. It builds brand loyalty and builds a super strong cult-like community. When you have a strong brand, like you can't really compete with someone who's got a massive strong brand. Like for example, Apple, like their branding is so strong. Like who can actually compete with them? Like probably everyone in here has an iPhone, do you know what I mean? Like they've got such a strong brand. I say with branding, the only thing is it is super long term. Like you don't really see an instant return on investment with branding. Like you do have to kind of think of it as such a long-term goal. Like, yeah, it's a lot of money to invest in branding, and obviously it takes a lot of time, but long-term, it's going to be crazy, and the momentum that builds over time is going to be absolutely insane. So the purple cow theory. Has anyone in this room heard of Mr. Beast? Yeah, a few people. If you've not heard of him, I suggest you go and look at him because he's absolutely insane. He's an online creator. And he thinks outside the box so big that it's like, how did you even think of that? But he's absolutely insane. So he said something on a podcast actually with Stephen Bartlett about the purple cow theory. And it just made me think of everything so different. And I think sometimes it just takes one thing. You know, like, for example, in school, and like, 3 people could tell you the same information, but only one person will say something where it actually makes sense. And for me, this has been the thing that makes sense. And it's a way of thinking about things, that whenever you're doing something, you can think about it in this way. So essentially, the purple cow theory is if you're driving past like a field of cows, and they're all just like normal cows, whatever, like you don't really think about it, you just drive past. But if you drive past a field of cows, and one of them's purple, you're going to stop, you're going to look at it, and then you're probably going to remember it, you're going to probably tell people about it. And you're also, a couple of years down the line, you might try and think, oh my God, remember that time when there was a purple cow in the field, like what the hell is that? And that's essentially the values and the concept that you need to apply to your marketing and your branding. You need to stand out and you need to think about, right, this is what everyone else is doing. How can we do that, but do it a bit differently? So I'm just going to go through a few of the campaigns that we've done, which essentially applies the purple cow theory. So Heather there, that's the influencer who's grown to 1 million followers, and she's the face of our brand. So when we bring out new products, we brought this product out at the end of July, and again, like I said, we like to think outside the box, like how can we do things differently? We don't just want to post about mascara and like, oh, here's mascara or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We want to tell a story. We want to like relate to our audience. Our audience is 16 to 25. They like to feel sexy. They like to feel empowered. Like we want to be fun, playful. So essentially what we did is we themed it around the F1. And to be honest, it was really good timing because the F1 weekend was actually on like when we launched, and that wasn't actually planned. So it's actually really good timing. So the way that we came up with the idea is we literally just go on Pinterest and we just start brainstorming, we look at a few ideas, and then we think about the messaging. So we thought, right, the mascara, it was a peptide tube mascara, so it's a really high performance mascara. And then we started thinking, like obviously using like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude AI to think about how can we use the F1 to play into our campaign. Because when I was on Pinterest, I saw a picture of this girl in like a helmet. And I feel like when you brainstorm, when you put up ideas, it doesn't just come. Like you have to kind of brainstorm a few different ideas together, and then one day it just clicks, and that's just how creativity works. Like you can't just, sometimes you can't just think of something that works. It has to take time, and you have to just keep on thinking about it, and then you might just walk past something one day, and it's like, oh, light bulb moment, like that's the one. So we was planning it, thinking about what we can do, thinking about different concepts. Originally, we was going to go to Santorini and do like a moped one. And then my social media manager showed me a picture of this girl in like in a helmet. And I was like, oh my God, I was like F1. I was like engineering for performance, like that's so cool, like world's first formula. Because the peptide tubing formula of the mascara as well is like quite a new thing. A lot of the brands have jumped on it now, but I feel like it's been developing for a couple of years. But it's like really new in the mascara world, like it's a new way of doing it, and everyone's reading about the tubing mascaras now. So we went with the F1 theme. So all of the things that we did relayed around the messaging of this. So like engineering performance, built to go the distance because it lasts super long. It's really like long wearing, long lasting, and world first formula. So here's just a little layout of the Instagram, and I always like to think of like your Instagram as like your shop window. So when someone's going on your social media, it's like that's their first impression of your brand. So the stronger it is and the more aesthetically pleasing it is on the eye, the better and the more trust I think it's instantly going to gain to like the audience and the people that are landing on that page, because it looks professional, it looks nice in the eye, it's telling a story, it's like, okay, like who are these people? And it makes people more interested and want to follow you more. And then here's just a few other TikTok ideas that we've done based on the back of the purple cow theory as well. So when we did the F1 campaign, I really wanted a pink car, because I was like, we need a pink car, we need a pink sports car. I looked everywhere for a pink car, no one had one, apart from in like LA and Dubai. And then I found this girl on Instagram who had a pink Porsche. I was like, perfect. Messaged her, and she was up for it first, and she started ignoring me, so I was like, fuck's sake, like, what do I do now? And then I was actually thinking, like, I have to have a pink car, like, I need a pink car, I can't not have a pink car. And my social media was like, making like, let's just get this one. And I was like, no, like, it was an American vintage car, and I was like, no, like, we need a pink car, it needs to be like an F1 car. Sorry. I've got so much I always speak, isn't it? So what I ended up doing, I ended up borrowing a Porsche kindly off my dad's friend, and I had to wrap it. But I thought, you know what, everything happens for a reason, and it actually worked out so much better because you can't really see it on here. But I wrapped it in the style of an F1 car. So on the side of the Porsche, it had like Bye Babes, like I don't know the names of it, but it was like a stripe. And obviously it had the Bye Babes on the front as well. We got a reg made that said Bye Babes. So that was like the core element of the campaign, what was taking pictures around and stuff. I don't know if we've got any of the pictures on here. You can kind of see in the pink car there, and like the pink car bottom. But again, like with the branding side of things, like attention to detail matters. And I feel like when you're building a brand, you have to be so specific and attention to detail and think about all the small things because that's what elevates your brand and makes it so much stronger. So when we had the pink Porsche, we actually decided we're going to make the most out of it. So we ended up parking it on the side of Deansgate. I actually wanted to park it in front of Sexfish, if anyone knows Manchester, but the rent for that space for one day was like £5,000. I was like, absolutely not. So we decided to park it on the other side of the street, and we put loads of fake parking tickets on there. So we literally got loads of fake parking tickets from Amazon that literally cost like £5. Put them all over it, and then we got a little board and put a QR code on it, which was like scan to win like beauty for a year, like beauty products for a year. And honestly, we left it there for like 2 hours, but we actually didn't even get a parking ticket, by the way. Like we didn't even get one, and I was like, oh, buzzing. But throughout them 2 hours, the amount of people that like walked past, they were stopping, they were taking pictures, and like we was like pretending that it wasn't us, and we were like trying to make people like, oh my god, is that real? Like we're still on the other side, and we're like, oh my god, is someone actually doing that, or is that like fake marketing? Like, wow, that's good marketing. Like, you know, like trying to get people to look at people on. And then we was on the other side of the street, and we was literally hearing people, and we've got videos that we actually put on TikTok, and people were like saying like, oh my god, they know what they're doing. Oh, that's good marketing, that, and like all this stuff. But the amount of people that stop, you can see there's a picture of a guy taking a selfie with it, but it caused so much attention. And stuff like this is obviously really hard to measure, like you're not going to measure direct sales from it, but something like this, it's a huge brand awareness piece, not only in real life, but also on socials. So I posted about it on LinkedIn, which is actually where Paul came in contact with me to speak at this event. But we got like 130,000 impressions on LinkedIn, and I don't really post on LinkedIn, to be honest, like I've only just started posting on there. We got over 500,000 views on socials, and obviously it's something that people talk about, and a lot of people that I've seen on there that don't know me, or like meetings that I've had with new agencies, like, oh yeah, I actually saw that on LinkedIn. And it's crazy because you don't actually see, like I said, the direct return investment and who actually sees it. But it's like one of those touch points to your brand, and then they might see an ad or something else and think, oh, I remember that actually, oh my god, that's that pink Porsche that I saw on that thing. And it's just, even in your subconscious mind, like people are going to see it and gain the trust with you more. And then a few other things that we've done is kind of like rage-baity things. And again, this isn't really for conversions. This is more to just like get our brand out there, be a bit fun, engaging, and it's just another touch point to help people go through that sales funnel. So we did a CEO face tattoo. So we went into the tattoo shop across from the road from my office, and we asked them if we could do a video and they could pretend to write a CEO, because our product, well, it was called Lash CEO, but now we changed to 5 days with the trademark and stuff again. But yeah, so basically what we did a video where Heather, like our face of the brand CEO, she goes and gets the CEO tattoo on the side of her face, and it's like a whole video, obviously it's all fake. We got 6 million views on that. I think we gained like 2,000 followers off it, or even a bit more. And obviously it was all organic, all free, it didn't cost anything. And that's 2,000 extra faces, extra eyes on our brand who could potentially be customers and who are going to engage with our posts. And then one that we actually did the other day was literally Bucket on Head in Sainsbury's, which got 2.6 million views. I think we got about 500 followers from this one. And it was literally just a copy of someone else's one, like a trending video. And we literally, it was in Sainsbury's, went to a secret aisle, and no one could see us, so it's a bit embarrassing. But I literally put a bucket on Heather's head and put one in my head and then turned around and pretended that I didn't know what was happening. I thought, oh my god, who did that? I literally got 2.6 million views. There was loads of comments from like other countries comments in, and it gets people angry. So like sometimes when you're doing marketing and things like that, it's good to create that anger in people and trigger an emotion. So people was watching it like, oh my god, like for example, the CEO face tattoo, he was watching it like, oh my god, she's ruined her face, no way she's done that, what an idiot, like, oh my god. And obviously we're sat there like, you've got to be a bit, what's the word, like hard-faced in a way to not take the hate, because you know why you're doing it. And I guess it's like Bonnie Blue, if anyone's seen about her, like, she obviously does that all the time. She doesn't care what people think, so she's doing it to get money. But yeah, the CEO face, I see people getting so angry, but it was just funny because it's like, you're literally getting us views, which is helping increase our brand awareness, which eventually will turn into sales. So this is the lip liner campaign. We're actually launching our lip liners today. So this is another kind of concept that we've done, a storytelling concept to be different and get our branding out there. And personally, I don't know, I think whenever we do a new campaign, I always look at the last one, I'm like, oh, I don't even like that anymore. You know, you just get bored looking at it. So this one's my current favourite. So this one, we decided to do it around like poker, like casino vibes, because we thought in our brand, because it's about female empowerment, we kind of want to do our campaigns around like male-dominant industries and think, how can we make that really feminine, how can we make that really sexy, and like how can we empower our community through that? So we decided to, oh my mouth again. I need some more water. Thank you. Yeah, so again, we started with the concept, so we was thinking, right, how can we make this casino vibe about our brand? So using ChatGPT, Google Gemini, was like, right, what play on words can we use? And that helps us with like all the imagery and everything. So it was like, every move counts, read my lips. So the whole concept behind it was, obviously in casino and like poker, you have a poker face and no one knows what you're thinking. So our campaign tagline was read my lips. So essentially, depending on the lip combination that you have, depends on like your mood and where you're going and what you're thinking. So that was the concept behind it. So every shade is a power move, long-lasting smudge-proof lip liner, so when stakes are high, get game face ready, and then all of the creative and the imagery all related around that. So we've got Queen of Hearts, we've got 6 shades as well, so the picture that we posted on our story yesterday was actually 6 of spades, just for like the play on words and things like that, and just like thinking about how can we do things differently, how can we tie in concepts and play on the storytelling rather than just releasing some lip liners, doing a little demo, like how can we create a story and create something that people are going to remember through that. So I've actually put on here as well the campaign video. I don't know if I'll play it. So this is going live tonight, but this is again, like even with the song, we're trying to relate everything back to our target audience. What's going to make them feel something, because that's the absolute key. And what we found as well is that every time we do a campaign, number one, the engagement with socials is so much better because it's new content, it's fresh, it's out there, it's creative, and also all of the ads that we do containing the campaign imagery always have a higher return on ad spend all the time. So I've just done a little few slides of like how to elevate your brand with out of the box thinking, kind of the steps that follow. I have already touched on those points, but I've used someone in this room, I think. Yeah, as an example, A&E Leisure, is it?
Raise your hand, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just used yours as an example because I was like, it would be nice to just use an example. So the first thing that you think about is, who is your target audience? Like, who are they? What's going to relate to them? What sort of content would speak to them? And then I just create a mind map of like all the word associations of things of like people. Obviously, this isn't going to be accurate, promise your business. This is just from my brain. So I put here the target audience for like people who go caravanning and like camping, maybe like 40 to 60, they have children, they enjoy exercise and hiking, they get up at 6 a.m. I don't know why it says that, maybe active readers. So they like Black Americano, they like red wine on weekends. And then they enjoy family time, friendships, relationships, but that's kind of why they go to these places. And I've just done some themes and associations based on camping. So it kind of just gets your brain working, thinking about things. And like I said, the key with branding is to make people feel something. They want to see you post and feel an emotion, feel a certain type of way. They want to like really relate to it and be like, oh my God, like I have to get that. And then you decide on the theme and plan the messaging. So for this one, I just went with like a Christmas family time theme because obviously Christmas is coming up. And I came up with some campaign taglines, again, just using AI because I'm not very good with words personally, I'm not a numbers girl. So I put all I want for Christmas is small camping gear, slaying it in the great outdoors, deck the tent with bows of holly, silent night, starry side. Home is where you park it this Christmas, let it glow, let it glow, let it glow. They are all a bit cringy, but I feel like that's how Brandon and Martin has to be. Like, it has to be cringy to make people stop, to make people think. So then step number 3 is I've gone and created some campaign visuals. So essentially just make a mood board from like Pinterest and just think about loads of different concepts, get loads of different images together that you can literally just copy when you do your shoot or your campaign. So you look at competitors, look at anything trending, look at other brands as well. Like, it doesn't have to be in your niche, like, you don't have to just stick to like our campaign on Pinterest. You can look at so many different brands and get inspiration. Like, I always look at like Jacquemus and people like that. Obviously, they don't do beauty, they do like clothes and bags and shoes. So here I've just come up with a few little concepts that people are going to look at, and obviously you can use like all of your camping gear. And again, for ads, you can put like the taglines over it, like, I can't remember what they were now, but you can put the taglines over it, and in these pictures as well, to help elevate the brand, you could use like branded and like branded props. So you could have some of the mugs, for example, with your logo on it. You could have the playing cards with your logo on it, just to elevate it that bit more, so that when people see it, they instantly recognize that it's your brand. So again, I've got some other ones as well, based on just like good imagery that can make people feel something and just elevate kind of the products. And then you go into idea development. So obviously I've just done these quite quick, but this is just an idea of like an idea development. So you'll think about what you want to do and like go with an idea, and then you'll just develop it more, like, how can I make that better? So for example, the one on the right is my favorite personally. So I've taken this from Pinterest and I've thought, right, how can I make that about ANU Leisure? Is that how you say it, by the way?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking, how can we make that about that brand? So I thought, right, obviously you've got the little arrows, and obviously you do caravan repairs, I think. So sign saying hot cocoa, and then a sign saying small camping gear to show like you're selling that. Another sign, let it glow, let it glow for like your lights that you sell. And then another sign be like sleigh repairs. And then also you can have like branded stocking around the caravan, and like just like your branding everywhere and things like that. And then obviously all the products that you sell, like use that in your picture. And then another one is like a leisure grotto. So you have kind of something like this, maybe with one of your tents or something. You'd have branded baubles on a Christmas tree, branded blankets, socks, branded mugs. So that people look at it, they're going to feel something, they're going to feel, oh, like Christmas, cozy, and they're also going to see you branded everywhere. So it's instantly going to make that connection. And even if it's not a direct conversion, it's going to be that touch point that then helps warm people up and get them through the funnel. And then step 5 would be your content ideation and creation. So here I've just come up with some kind of video concepts and things, and just like content that you can post on socials that would really speak to your audience, and that would also help, again, bring people through the funnel. So you've got your relatable content ideas, which is more for like brand awareness and engagement, like for example the ones that I showed before. So you've got like a POV, which is like a point of view. So like you're trying to set up Christmas decoration on your caravan in 30 miles per hour winds, and it's just like a video showing something that people who go caravanning and camping around Christmas can relate to, so that they see that and they're like, oh yeah, that's so funny, like that. And then again, you start coming up on their feed there with the products that you sell, the ads that you do, things like that. Another one, when you're camping Christmas dinner depends on a single gas burner. And then you could also make it salesy by on the end being like, oh, like our gas burners doesn't do this, whatever, it's amazing. And then another one, trying to find the perfect Christmas tree when you're camping. I think I spelled that wrong. I don't know what else to say. POV, when it's Christmas morning but your caravan toilet cassette is full. And then obviously more there. And then on the other side, I've got more like value content ideas. So this will really help build trust, and it will also be good for engagement. If people are going to see it, they're going to gain trust with you because you're sharing value, and it's also going to help with your engagement, because if it's good and it's relatable, they're going to save it, they're going to send it to the friends that they go camping with. So it was like how to make a perfect campfire s'mores, Christmas edition. So it could be like you sat around with your products, like using all the things to make that. And then 5 ways to keep your caravan warm on Christmas morning. Christmas dinner meal prep for caravan camping, and then Christmas morning traditions you can do while camping. Just things like that again are relatable to the season, and you can show your products. So like you show your products without directly selling them. So it's the point of creating that brand awareness and building trust, and again just warming people up and nurturing them. So finally, just the benefits of having a strong brand. So it gives your brand a personality. It gives people something to talk about. At the end of the day, people buy from people. People buy from emotions. So having that strong personality for your branding is really going to help gain the trust, make people want to buy from you. It makes you unique as well. So if you've both got a really good product, like which one are they going to buy? And I actually went to an event on Wednesday, and he runs something for our main competitor. He's like one of the biggest in the space, especially for our target audience. And he actually said to me that an account manager's sister who works there bought our last show instead of theirs. And he asked why, and she's like, because the brand's cool. And that just goes to show, like, both of our products are pretty much the same. They're both good products, but because of the way that we brand and market ourselves, that puts us as like the superior with her choice. So she's decided to purchase our last show because she relates more to our messaging and the things that we portray. So as well, another perk of branding, it positions you as the leaders and the experts in what you do. Like you want to tell people, like, no, like you need to come to us because we're the best. Like we know what we're doing. And branding is all about what you tell people. So if I tell you like X, Y, Z about me, you're going to believe that because you don't know me and that's what I told you. So that works the same with your business. Whatever you tell people that you do and the things like who you are, people are going to automatically believe you and trust you and think that's what you do because that's what you've told them. And that's what branding is all about. So it'll increase brand awareness, which again helps people go through the awareness stages and the sales funnel. And long term, it helps you increase sales and build customer retention, and it helps you build a legacy brand. So something that one of my good friends told me a few years ago when I was at the early stage of my business, she said, you need to hunt people before people hunt you. And that saying has stuck with me forever because when I was doing my aesthetics, I used to literally every morning outreach to 30 people to try and get customers, and it's just stuck with me with everything. And it works the same with branding. You have to invest in your branding consistently all the time before that people recognize your brand and come to you for being like the industry leader. And that's everything. Any questions?
I'm intrigued to know kind of how you manage working with a celeb influencer in terms of like, for example, if they were to lose all their following or if there was some kind of big controversy around them, whether you have any impact into what they post day to day, or if you're confident like the business is a standalone if you were to ever like lose them.
Yeah. So obviously being a like small startup business that we're not even going 2 years yet, so that is something that we're still learning for sure. But looking at the influencers that I work with, like obviously she's going on the back of the brand and she's smart herself. And if there is anything that's going to be controversial, like I always make sure to let her know kind of where she stands. Obviously we've got contracts in place as well. That's like you are the face of the brand, but you have to behave in a way online. You can't do anything to kind of sabotage that. And obviously it's not always avoidable. Like things happen, especially when she's an influencer and she's quite an opinionated influencer because of what she stands for. Like she's very much a feminist and she preaches about that on her socials. So there's always going to be controversy in that aspect, but it's just about learning and just navigating it together. And in terms of the brand, like we are trying to move away from being heavily dependent on her, which is why we do use other influencers. Like I'm on the brand a bit more as well. We do try and diversify the people that we show with like our UGC creators, our affiliates and things like that, because obviously that's a risk factor of having someone the face of your brand, is that if they go down, we're not going to come like tumbling down with her for facts, but it will probably affect us a bit. So obviously that is always something to worry about, but I think it's just about working together and just being honest with each other and just navigating that journey together and just making sure that we're both on the same page and that if something does happen, like we just deal with it the best that we can in that moment. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no point in worrying about something that's not happened. It's just one of those where we do what we can to manage it and try and reduce the risk, but if something does happen, then we'll figure it out together and there's always a solution, I think, to every single situation, in my opinion. But yeah.
What's the question from Rob? First one.
Yeah, I was first, mate. Get it down. That was really good. Awesome. What marketplace did you sell on and what was most successful?
I sell on Shopify and TikTok. I'd say with TikTok, it's a bit, I don't know, I'm very like in two minds about it. We are a TikTok brand essentially, like we're known on TikTok. We've got a post-purchase survey, 8% of customers see us from TikTok. So we are a TikTok brand, something that I can't avoid. However, on TikTok, you don't get any customer data, so it's always been something that I've been really cautious about giving all my time to because they control so much. And as well, like if TikTok just went down like that, like it almost did in America, my whole business would go to shit, basically. So I try to keep it very much based on Shopify, and we do like email marketing as well. We've got a lot of email data, and that's always been something that I've been cautious about. But when I went to this TikTok thing the other day, he was kind of saying about, I don't know, he kind of changed my perception on it a bit. He said this one brand called Inculus, like they're exclusive in Sephora, and they don't have any data at all, and they just turned over 150 million. And the reason that I was thinking of it like that, and Dave would be good to ask for this, is because I wasn't sure long term how that would affect the valuation of my brand. Like if I don't own a lot of my customer data, would that affect my brand long term? But equally, TikTok is an amazing platform for sales because it's literally like so easy to grow. Like on the slide that we did before, our TikTok has grown to like 125k in less than 2 years, whereas our Instagram, it already had 12k followers from a boutique, but it's only grown 40k in that 2 years. And it's crazy the amount of brand awareness you get. All it takes on TikTok really is for one video to go viral. I've seen it happen with loads of the TikTok brands. One video goes viral and it's instant brand awareness. They start to get customers and then they get a huge uplift in sales. And then obviously then customers love the product, they come back and it just really sets them up for life. Did I answer your question? I feel like I went off on a tangent.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, that kind of was slightly
Sorry,
one
mate.
question, but it's like, yeah, I was going to ask because we run an email marketing agency, but obviously I understand that your audience is a bit younger and they might not engage as much with email, so you kind of touched on that question. But yeah, what kind of results have you seen from other channels that might not traditionally be the first point of call for you guys, like email?
To be fair, our email marketing is actually really strong. So up until a couple of months ago, I got a new ads guy because we're an ad agency, typical agency as well. I'm not from agencies, no offense to people. But they literally just wouldn't spend my money, and we was getting really good ROAS and stuff, and they just wouldn't spend my money, and it was struggling to scale so hard. And then I got a new ads person, and he just like spent my money, and we ended up almost tripling our revenue in like 2 months because we changed my ads guy, and he just went in on it, and it scaled massively. But before we went hard on the ads, I guess 50% of our website sales came from emails. So it is, as much as I feel like the audience is a lot younger, I do definitely feel like they still work. Now I'd say it's around like 28%, so it is a bit lower, but I think I'm not sure if that's because we've like increased our spend so much and it's kind of just gone down a bit, do you know what I mean? And as well, yeah, I feel like that's the reason, to be honest.
Great talk, by the way. Done really well.
I wanna say something about that. So that was amazing talk, and I think when you will be on the BBC, please remember this room when you were president. I can see you being on the BBC 100%. Couple of things. I'm working with a guy called Particle, and he's running men grooming brand in the US, 100 million brand revenue. Please, after this conference, I want to send you a link. He's investing into the brands like you guys, etc., and he absolutely can help scale in the US.
Oh, amazing.
I'm gonna be messaging you. Also, the super payments guys, if you're on Shopify, you're probably paying them 1.5% transaction fee. Speak with super payments because they can lower the fee to 0%. So you will be only paying 0.6 to Shopify transaction. So it's 0.8% of your revenue savings right away from this day. Thank you very much for that.